You got a sign-in sheet, make sure everybody's signed in. Your cell phones, either shut them off or put them on vibrate. Is there anybody for privilege of the floor? Let the record show that all board members are here, legal is here, and the administration staff is here. City of Binghamton is represented today, and Johnson City called up and said that he couldn't make it today. Is there anybody that needs privilege of the floor before I go on? Don't see anything. Meeting minutes approval, I'll turn that over to you.
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the March 12th, 2019 meeting in the form contained in the board folders with the changes shown.
Second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. 5-0-1.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the April 9th, 2019 board meeting in the form contained in the board folder with the changes shown.
Second. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, 5-0-1. Okay. Little Chuck, where are you? Okay, you're up next.
You might get in front of the camera. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I work for Chuck Shager at the City of Binghamton. He got called away, but he said he's going to be here, so in case he didn't get here, I'm just going to do this really quick. There's no issues with the Treasurer's report. I believe we just got in a Fenton check. We're still waiting for the town of Kirkwood as far as I know. Came today. Awesome. Everybody's paid their second quarter bill, so we can get that in the bank. There's nothing unusual on the reports. Michelle did bring something to my attention. The open PO report has 2018's date on the title. I'll change that next time, but it is accurate for 2019 period 5. And everything's going on pretty smoothly. We're pretty normal as to expenses and revenues at this time of the year. So if anybody had any time to review it since Friday till now, ask any questions, I can probably answer some. Like I said, Chuck Shager will be here. He'll be this week. You need to ask him any questions. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I know on the 2018 final billing, Chuck Shager's trying to maneuver to get some reconciliation between the city council and the village board regarding the lead agency expenses, and that may be what's holding up the bill right now, because right now there's not legislation passed by the city council to conform to what Johnson City approved, which was a modification on what the city had approved. So those expenses would have to be taken out of the bill, which is not what he believes the owners intend. You want the lead agency project report done? In your folder, you have the end of month May lead agency project report in the chart form and in the graph form. We note that approved to pay as a percentage of the total under contract is approaching 86%. Without retainage, and 89% if you include the retainage. And so we'll note that the construction manager is still holding invoices for PC construction 60 days. We did receive the March invoice, or the invoice for March work, and it passed audit today, so it'll be in line for payment this month. On the draft report. Again, you'll see that the total graph in the top left gives you a visual depiction of where the project is. Darker green is money that's paid out. And that section, like a clamshell, should continue to close as the project moves along. Underneath that, the smaller pie graph is the professional services, and there's different colors because the JSDP the purple is separate from the solids handling, which is the brown, and the supplemental agreements are also different colors. The flood wall engineering and the preliminary engineering are different colors as well. And in the top right, you have the actual construction demolition graph. And again, these are volumetrically scaled so that if you take the area of the professional services plus the construction, it equals the area of the total. On pages 2 through 4, you have the bar graphs for each of the contracts. You can see how far they are along in the payment process. Again, that's not the same necessarily as the progress on the ground, but it's where the payments are. If there's any questions, my contact information is in the chart report. Feel free to hold me, or if anybody has any questions now, just read. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Pearsall, financial matters.
Short list, Mike. Still waiting for the notification that we're ready to do some jar testing for the power rating.
Who have you contacted on that?
Craig.
But it's not necessarily Craig's building, right? It's the construction and homes.
I assume Craig would know when we will be ready. I don't have a contract on the construction team.
I'm not sure if it's the contractor's responsibility to do drug testing or it's going to be plant staff.
I mean, it's certainly something to reach out to Ron Lake about then for coordination, right?
I believe it's come up a couple times at the solids handling meeting, and didn't really get an answer. So, at the meeting.
From who?
Construction management was there, and Ron Lake sometimes was there. So, I don't know if he was at that particular meeting, but it was mentioned.
We need to do the jar testing to determine.
Well, first I gotta get some digested sludge first to determine the characteristics of it. That's what they're gonna come in and determine what's the best product to dewater our particular sludge. So, once we establish good biology and we have a good product, they could come in and get a sample of it, do a jar testing right on site, and get us a couple totes quite quickly if we need to start dewatering. So it's something we've done quite a bit of. So as far as the plan's concerned, when the time comes, if we need to, we can do it.
Is it in the contract?
Which one? That's where there needs to be better coordination. And I would just recommend that the person to address anything is the lead agency project manager, Ron Lee. Or John. He doesn't necessarily respond when the board is in contact. on a board contract. Lead agency contract.
When the time comes, somebody's gonna have to do it, right?
Correct.
How far out?
We have another solid sailing meeting this week. Bring it up. John usually does dial in.
There's definitely two companies who would be interested as soon as we have something for them to come test. I don't know how far we'll leave it out and bucket of sludge that we can ship.
It's going to be at least after we seed it and start feeding it. It's going to be at least 30 to 40 days.
Right. At least it's gonna be warm. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
So what contractor do you think might be responsible for setting it up?
It would be contract for contract 10, which would be Quandel.
And what about, you give that duties to our engineer and let him trace it down and find out? And maybe look at the contract and see if it's named in there by chance with Quantrill.
Okay.
Okay?
You got it.
You got it?
Alex got a good point there. They've been somehow able to dispute what their responsibilities are. And this may be another one.
Well, yeah, and I understand, I agree with that, but if you can find some language in the contract that the city has with Quantrill, then maybe, well, we can, just give them some ammunition, sort of start to research earlier, and then let the city argue it out with it. If we feel it's their responsibility. Or maybe it should be a joint venture.
Yeah. Sure testing. I think what the issue could be is going out to bid for a new product, where we have to go out to bid again. Because the jar testing through our supplier won't cost us anything. They supply that service for free.
All right, I didn't know that.
The only thing that would be a fee is when they bring a total of the product in to run a trial with it.
Right.
And once we determine that, yes, it's working the way it should be working, then we can purchase more.
So how far are we away from this goal?
Well, yeah, they want to start introducing sludge to that digester by the end of this month.
By the end of this month? Okay.
So then you're looking at another 30 days. So
Okay, so
2 months out.
We're 2 months out of, as far as knowing how much we're gonna need in that stuff and then going out for bid, right?
We need to write a spec. Once they tell us, once we decide it works, to go out to bid.
Well, you just have to know the gallons.
Each of the suppliers will do a jar test and do a proposal based on that test. So presumably, they all have their proprietary
Right.
flocculants. So they'll say, we'll sell you this one at this amount, it'll do what you need. The other one will have a similar, satisfy our needs and go with a cheaper solution.
For a period of time.
Right now, the current contract is expired, so we're going on order by order
Right.
with Paladine,
Right.
which is one, they're very helpful, they're really responsive. That way it's not that expensive a product, because we're not up and running, so. We're just doing order by order until we're ready to sign the contract.
Well, that's all we
Well,
can
we
do
need to
until
do-
we have the knowledge and the fact of what we need.
But there are places who have expressed interest, they say, once you have something, we very much like to bid this.
Right.
You have people, and I don't think we can get in quickly.
I don't want to lose, any time, once we know what we need. All right.
The contract that ran out, is that extendable at all?
It was on its third extension. is it a lot by now?
Well, yeah, we've done a lot of things, but they're 14 months behind right now.
The DEC penalties, next thing, I'm still paying those, assuming we haven't achieved the deadline, and we do have the RL in for the owners to increase the amount. So until I hear, one concern I have there, the April report that came out said that they will be functionally complete on a certain date. The DEC is that it should be in line, and by my non-understanding of engineering, there's a difference between something being built and something actually being used.
Right, and, I mean, I went to the council work session last Monday also, and Craig was there as well. And the city council president, some of the members of the union were there as well. The city council president was pretty strict at that meeting about who could speak, so he didn't allow Craig to speak, and I certainly wasn't able to speak. And the RL for the budget transfer to pay the penalties did not get signed out by the council. And that's something that I'm going to be sending an email to a couple council members and ask them to see if they would reconsider that, because they are under the misimpression that some representation by the construction manager that they're going to have the first 8 cells of the BAF ready to rock and roll on August 31st of 2019, and we'll see, means that, oh, we're good then. But there's a period of up to 60 days to grow the biology, and even though there might be a proposal to quote-unquote seed the biology with some wastewater from another plant to start the process of the biomass development, that doesn't take into account that in the summer, up to 25% of our biochemical oxygen demand influence of the BAFs comes from one industrial user, Frito-Lay. And that's a vegetable type VOD from corn and potatoes that has not gone through a human or animal digestion process. So that it has much different characteristics from a wastewater treatment standpoint than does the VOD that comes in from sewage, from human waste, animal waste that comes through the sewage system that's been through a human or animal digestion process. So the idea that you could seed the biology in the BAFs from another plant, unless it's a plant that also has a potato chip or a corn chip factory upstream from it, it may not be as successful as somebody thinks. And we all know from looking at the third modification consent order that the Schedule A runs out on actually July 31st, and August 1st a different Schedule A takes place as far as what the effluent discharge limitations are. So the DEC is very definitely looking at what the effluent is going to be, not necessarily whether the construction is completed on the BAF cells by July 31st or August 31st. So it really behooves us to press, especially now the city council, because that seems to be a stumbling block, to have these budget transfers approved, because they don't have the money to pay these stipulated penalties either. The city and the village cannot use the money they're borrowing from the Environmental Facilities Corporation to make those payments. That's impermissible. It causes a tax problem and whatever. And I don't think they have in their budgets for that. They look to the sewage board's budget. Even though we have no influence on the construction as a board, but it's important to try to get the owners to understand that the DEC is going to be looking for that penalty money, and if it's not paid on time, there's going to be repercussions.
There's also other activity in that line for permits.
Exactly.
So if I'm out of money, we may fall behind on a permit that we need. So I'll be requesting these checks, whether there's money in the account or not. We have to discuss whether he wants to risk going into the red.
Right, I mean, and this budget report we have here, Chuck Robinson's left, I guess. You know, there's 25,000 available, 800 encumbered, and you have, as I understand it, Charlie, you have $15,000 in play from what was on the board list last week, which is to pay the June installments. And we can't pay that out of the 25,000 without going into the red, because when the plant's speedies permit renewal fee comes up in September time frame or whenever, it's in the $17,000–18,000 range. And there's other permits from time to time that come up with the landfill and other entities. So, the way the budget process works, we don't put the fines in the budget. We have money in contingency so that it can be moved. But if the owners won't move the money, then it can't be used to pay those costs. And the owners, legislative bodies want to say, well, the sewage board, that's your problem. And I beg to differ with them, because the sewage board has no role in the construction.
Definitely agree. I think we all agree with that.
The next item is the methanol, and they put it down here as permission to advertise, but I just wanted to make the board aware. I had sent it around, and Ed and Al have both contributed that. I wanted to be very ready when we do get this, because at the last board meeting in May, Ron Lake said we're imminent to when we may need this, and if there's still questions, I can find 4 different certifications for what makes up a 99.85% methanol, and I'd like to know very specifically which one is compatible with the Kruger process. Howard was checking from his materials, and I asked John LaGorda, which process does the Kruger methanol have to be? They're all very similar, but there's little differences in what makes up the non-methanol components. And I hate to order the wrong thing that's going to kill the process. So I think it's critical we know exactly what are the specifications.
I think that's going to be another trial by error too.
There's not a lot of difference, but there's enough that,
Well, they can throw it off.
yeah, I don't want to pick the wrong one and they'll say, well, the color's wrong and it messed up the UV.
You don't want to try by error, it takes 60 days to get it in.
Exactly.
Can we talk to Kruger?
I've asked
Are we
John.
allowed to talk to Kruger?
You're not in the phone.
Well, I think you should get Kruger and CHD involved and say, which one should we have on?
Different.
Have we been told that we're going to need it 60 days from now?
I still have not been told when exactly we're going to, but just based on what Ron Lake said.
So we're going to come in and say we need it next week?
Yeah, can you have that ready by the end of the day or something like that?
Has the Town of Vestal Code and Fire Department signed off on the methanol storage and feed system yet?
No, I brought it up at the DEC meeting today,
Okay.
about the methanol system, and
Is it complete? I walked it this morning. They were very specific. I mean, Vestal was very specific. They put in an awful lot of their own detection methods into the design, and they're going to want to see them.
that's what I was told today, that they had a lot of input into that design, so that getting them on site, they should be.
So do we know how far away it is from completion?
No,
Is that
because I brought it up, the reason I brought it up is because
for the denitrification? Yeah.
if we're putting the cells 1 through 8 online
Yeah,
in August, we're gonna need methanol.
right.
The good news is, I do have one supplier who will deliver to Vestal after they know what the connections will be for the trucks, and it's $1.36 a gallon delivered to Vestal, which is a lot less than I thought we were doing. But they only go 1 month at a time for that.
Right. Hey,
I don't think we could respond quick enough to do a bid every month,
It's
so
a-
there may have to be a creative way,
500 gallons a day.
more.
You gotta lock in at that price though?
Yes.
For 30 days.
It's
Do we have
over
enough
800 gallons.
storage out there?
Does it-
1 month delivered.
Yes.
Charlie, does it run month
For
to
a
month
month
or
order?
for a month from the day you sign?
The calendar month is the way they're
Okay,
doing it.
that's all I.
But you could probably word it in just about the mutual understanding any way you like. But I was just fishing for budget problems, so just even find
No,
somebody that
no,
would do it. And that's-
Yeah, 30 days. Is our storage capacity gonna last 30 days?
We have 25 days capacity if we went from totally serviceable full to,
So if they're only gonna deliver every 30 days.
well, no, it's a monthly contract. You can deliver as many as you need.
Oh, I was-
6,000 gallons.
Monthly
at a time.
price.
Yeah.
So in other words, we
Right.
can order that the same locked in price, twice in 1 month.
Twice a month.
Right.
Alright.
Okay, now have we got our licenses in place for the tank inspections and that stuff? We got anybody here that's certified yet?
For methanol?
Well,
We need
I don't think so, not for methanol. For underground storage for diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's, I wasn't just asking about that one, I got all tanks in my head now. For the tank that's buried in the ground.
Yes.
And the next item,
So what are we doing with methanol as far as procurement?
I am still waiting until I get the very specific, which designation, ASTM or IMPCA, there's three. Once I find that, I'll go out for bid, but I think we're very close. Once I have that, we have at least the bid sheet to go out.
So you're gonna need a special meeting to approve that when you're ready, if it happens off cycle.
Probably. I won't know until I have the items. It may not happen for 1 month or 2 years, so I don't know the special meeting.
Also, Claire, we have to put it on the CBS permit,
Right,
once it's,
you're gonna have to,
once
Yeah.
we've taken it off. And we have to put it back on once it's
bulk storage, right? Yeah.
Certainly, I can get
I
the,
talked with Kelly about that today.
I can get the bid request in front of the board email, once we have it all lined up, so it could be a quick decision. Well,
Somebody's gotta get the fire department in here first.
yeah, I don't think we're close, I guess is my point. They actually go ahead and do that, that's all yet. But I didn't want to be the piece that held up anything either, so.
I'm gonna contact the fire department, Beth Jacobs.
Yes. They don't answer. So far.
You just turn around, turn it over to the city of Binghamton, because that's where Jacob's working. And tell them we're not getting a response. We need it. Well, he's recovering from surgery. I don't know if he's home. I don't think
He's home.
Is he?
He's taking phone calls, as few as possible.
Oh, I understand.
So you don't want permission to advertise for methanol?
Not at this point, no, I don't know. Which specific,
Can't we use it for a fact finder so we know which way we're going? If we approve you going out and advertising?
well, I don't know which specification to ask.
Well, that's for the most expensive.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't know which one's the most expensive.
Well,
that-
That's it. That's what I'm getting at. Can you call up one of the companies and find out which one's the most expensive?
I can call up and find out which ones they offer.
Yeah.
If they're gonna sell me theirs, then I gotta tell me which one's cheaper
So,
somewhere else.
in other words, all companies manufacture a different grade, is that what you're telling me?
There's different specifications for what they can measure. One company may have 4 different versions of 99.85% pure methanol.
Yeah, right.
We need the one that's not gonna kill the Kruger microbes. I don't know which one that is.
Well, I guess we gotta go to Kruger and find out.
That's what I'm asking.
And the manufacturer is the person to
Buy up John Gordon.
It's spec'd out 98%, but I don't know if it goes into what grade. Is it?
Well, as Charlie mentioned, it's not that part of it that's the issue, it's what's the other 2%.
Yes, that other allowable impurities that are in
It's
there.
typically water. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. From
It's
where?
typically on water.
From where?
From,
From where?
well,
Yeah, okay.
But there's also.
That's the key. Your river?
There's acetone, the color, the water, specific gravity, the permanganate line varies. Ethanol, chlorine, sulfur, hydrocarbons, carbon little spark increase, acidity, total iron, and non-volatile matter. And there's all different categories and methods of measuring, whether it's a percentage or a weight. I need to know the one that Kruger would say is the best to use with their process.
Somebody's got to call Kruger. Right, whether it's us, whether it's.
Well, no, I think we have them, we gotta do it as a team with the Gorgon and that stuff and find out which one.
They don't change much, but there's enough difference there. Some of them, I don't know if the color.
How much of a difference is it in your test from passing and not passing?
For me, as an accountant,
No,
the
not
cheap
for
one's
you,
the best.
not for you. I'm talking about for the plant.
well, on the sea of base, when we took it last time, it would tell you what the percent assay was. So it would be like 98.2, 98.3, and then it would list what the other byproducts were. And most of it was water. But like you said, you know where the water's coming from. But it's a very small amount of water.
I wonder if it takes to get rid of the hot water you get. The next item was the 2020 budget, which Ed had put forward a schedule.
That's it.
We have been working internally to try and come up with some of the costs, so I think plant management is close to a number, but we're going to be having our own meetings. And I think the Thursday, the 22nd deadline is probably achievable at this point.
June 27th, you got it.
For the superintendent to submit.
Yeah.
Then, under this, proposal, and again, you know, this is a proposal, the idea is to find out are these dates workable for people. During the July 9th board meeting, there'd be an overview discussion by the superintendent of the requests. I envision this year, because of the calendar, we need to ask the owners' legislative bodies for a 2-day extension to Friday, August 16th to submit the budget. We have Finance Committee work meetings on Tuesday, July 16th, Wednesday, July 24th, Thursday, August 1st, and if needed, Monday, August 5th. All those meetings would be here in this room at 4 p.m. And if those dates don't work for somebody, please speak up. You know, this is, the idea is to work this out.
You know, everything arises at a different time, so.
Yeah, I know.
You put it out, 2 hours and can happen, but I guess the best thing is, will you have a budget submitted to us?
By the 27th?
Yeah.
We're working towards 21st.
Well, okay.
Sorry.
All right.
If you're early, that's great.
Yeah, longer will take, more acres.
You don't have to wait till the 27th.
We'll take the extra week.
And you can give us longer time to decide, and then we'll have an extra few days in order to hash it out. Then, of course, it goes before the owners and be hashed out again. Well, good luck to you on this one. You know, to me, it's gonna be a hard thing figuring this one out. You don't even know the operation, how it's gonna go. I know what we're saying.
True.
And I'm out of town on the 16th of July.
Okay. The personnel is on the 24th.
Anything else, Cheryl?
I do have one question. I spoke with Howard Weaver.
You said that was it for you. So.
This wasn't.
Late breaking news.
I asked Howard Weaver if Simmons had their revised proposal, where last time we had discussed we were going to do just the 2019 follow-up, approve that portion of his proposal, and then budget for the 2020. He expected us to provide something, and I was expecting Simmons to provide something. I'm not sure. I asked with Michelle.
And I didn't have a chance to go through it.
Either way, we just have to come up. I think Simmons will do it. But I had thought we were waiting for them to break down their proposal into the rest of this year, and then future budgeting. I don't know if anybody remembers.
I think he did that.
I was waiting for something from Simmons. I think he did. He did it verbally. We decided the dollar amount. But there was nothing to sign.
I'm pretty sure it was sent to us, but we can't sign for anything past this year.
So I think that's why we'd ask them to do the 2019 portion just to finish up. And split.
Right.
We could put it in the 2020 budget.
So it was for $170,000, amend the encumbrance, additional services, professionals, not encumbered to Simmons, that's all capital. Extended 12/31/19.
Yeah, we passed that last month.
But his 2019 proposal was what, for $300,000. So we had asked them to split it into pieces and move a portion of that into 2020.
So it was only for $170,000.
Yeah, the proposal he handed us was for $300,000.
300, because it was out for 3 years.
Yeah, so we needed them to revise that. I thought he was going to do it. He apparently thought we were going to do something.
The fact of the matter is, they're not, right now Simmons is not providing that kind of work effort to us. So, you know, even what we've already approved, we're not going to spend.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a hurry.
I would just talk to Howard and just tell him to do it for that.
We're not gonna have to put something in the budget for next year.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
He'll supply some sort of.
He always says.
It's kind of dependent too, as the revenue comes in, they take their, so if we don't get the revenue, we don't have the expenses. So it kind of
He's done that in
comes
the past.
out. So it's good to have the budget in.
The proposal he gave us was like an upfront price for 3 years. And we couldn't approve that because we didn't have sufficient funding in the budget right now to approve that. So we approved just the amount to get us through the end of this year.
Right.
But we know what his numbers are from that letter, and that's what we should be putting in the budget.
That's true.
The proposal.
I agree.
We have to sign the agreement or anything for them.
Well, you probably do once you turn it down and go ahead, you probably send us something. That's no problem. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, now we come to the good part, right?
Superintendent report for June 11th, 2019. Monthly average flow for the month of May was 22.34 MGD. CBOD percent removal, 46.2. Suspended solids, percent removal, 72.2. Settable solids, percent removal, 93.9. Total nitrogen for the month of April, percent removal, 17.23. Lime stabilized sludge to the landfill, 665.95 tons. Moving down to Construction topics. Headhouse main pump suction valve, I'm stating this, appeared to be installed backwards. According to plant's observations and manufacturing specifications, we are still researching with the vendor to verify install. And after I turn this in to Michelle, print out for everybody, Jimmy was still on the phone with the vendor. And the vendor has confirmed our observations that they are installed backwards. And I know this is a very touchy subject. It also appears there's a certain rotation for that valve to be in that's also wrong. So there is a corrective action plan, but today plant staff hasn't been made aware of that yet. It was brought up today, DEC meeting, if there is one, and we alerted them to the fact we're not aware of it yet. So they said they would get it to us, and they did mention that bypass pumping was involved.
To make the correction?
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I guess they're, Craig, too. Maybe I'm a little confused. I thought that was all in the process of going, but apparently they weren't gonna reverse the valve.
No.
They were gonna just turn it.
Right.
And that won't work according to the manufacturer, which you just got.
They felt that they weren't in backwards.
But
after further
doesn't it say on there, isn't it stamped on there which way it goes?
After we showed them our findings today and showed them where it says seat on the valve casing, they may agree with us now. So I don't know if they will or not, but I'm just, our findings lead to them being installed backwards.
My opinion is that they never looked. Because it's not small letters.
Yeah. So that's our findings.
Yeah, and I want you to go forward with it. I mean, do you want to send it off to both owners along, you know?
These are some construction topics, like I said, I want the board to be aware of.
Yeah, and well, that's good, that's very good.
I think it would help us though if we had a picture that was annotated or a diagram or something that shows us. When you say backwards, you don't mean top to bottom.
He's gonna bring it for you.
We got
He's
it.
gonna bring it for you right now.
We got it.
Okay.
We got plenty of
to print it out for you. No.
I didn't know how much detail you wanted me to go into, but
It'd
we
be good
could.
to be able to understand this so we could explain it to somebody else when they ask us,
Yeah,
what are they
well,
talking
you
about?
have to explain it to the people that we hired to do it.
We didn't hire anybody. It's the owners that hired.
Well, I'm sorry, the owners.
And obviously,
Send it to you.
you know, whoever the owners that is working for them missed it. You know, they weren't paying attention when it was installed wrong in the first place. You know, it should be noted that was a private entity, not a governmental entity.
Even blind people would get it because it's like braille, so you'd be able to feel it, no.
So, moving forward, sampling manhole slag gate still needs to be repaired.
What was your answer on that? Did you get an answer from the last construction meeting?
On the grouting,
Well, yeah.
I don't know
Taking
if
care of the leak.
they
There
responded.
hasn't been another construction meeting yet, but based on what I look for, submittals,
I thought you had a construction meeting every week.
not for the flood wall. The flood wall, they're demobilized, they're no longer on
Oh, okay,
site.
all right, I stand corrected.
So there's been no progress.
It's about 2 hours.
The question is, what configuration is the installation that needs to be corrected?
Okay, so basically, you want to refer to the bottom drawing
Right.
where it says liquids with suspended solids and dirty gases. The orientation that they have, if you look at the diagram just above the word shut, it's absolutely reverse of that. The orientation that the valve is in now, or all 4 valves. As you
So
can
then
see,
it's a
the
check
direction
valve.
of flow.
It's a check valve, not a.
Well, basically, what happens is, if you look at the direction of flow, that will allow grit and dirt to build up behind the valve. And prematurely wear the valve, the plug out and the seal. Make it harder for the valve to operate. So their contention is they would like to just rotate the valve. I would believe it would be counterclockwise, so they could get the orientation just over the top of the open position. So the valve would, in a counterclockwise open motion, would be in that position there.
So open up 90 degrees.
Yeah, that's their idea of the fix. But it's still, if you close it, it would be in the wrong orientation. So
You'd hide all the verbiage by turning it 90 degrees.
the flow has to hit the face of the valve. The face of the flow. That is directly from the manufacturer.
I know you were on with them today and they concurred and they solidified everything that you
The
guys said.
vendors did, yes. I was told today at the DEC meeting that those valves are not backwards. Construction management.
But then Desert concurs with your, based on the cost, concurs with your.
Yes.
And I had Jim call up and told him to write us a letter stating that effect, so. Okay?
There's pictures, yeah. When Jim sends his letter.
That's the way it's supposed to be, not like that.
Okay, moving forward, everybody knows the situation of our lab. We can't get a certificate of occupancy for the east side.
So we're staying right where we are, right?
We're staying right where we are, and the contractor cannot move forward on the west side with us occupying that space. So construction's on hold.
So is that a delay penalty thing also?
Until somebody makes a decision. What happened to the trailer? Was you gonna try and get a trailer?
We talked about it in an emergency just in case, because that was our last option if we got pushed out of there and both owners agreed with them. But,
Who's gonna pay for that trailer?
yeah, right. So what we decided to do is just to turn around and let them solve that problem. They created it. They're the ones that did the scheduling. I mean,
There was a concern that DEC had today. She did bring it up. You wanna know the status of our lab?
told them it's fine. We're working in the same place, right?
Yeah.
Do we have any idea what that would cost?
The lab, they're talking about the lab. Do you have any?
Howard, do you have any idea what it would cost to rent out a portable lab?
The closest I got was it was close to $8,000 a month, but it didn't meet Kelly's requirements.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
When you say Kelly, you mean Neelan?
Yes, yeah, I asked the lab director what I should be asking for, and so far I haven't been able to meet his request. I still have feelers out there, though I'm still looking.
Okay, moving on. Everybody's aware of the admin building. Front steps out here still need to be repaired due to puddling and standing water. Moving on to other issues. Pictures and videos. Here at the plant, with all the construction. Should plant staff be enforcing or required that there's a no picture policy here now?
And does that cover everyone? Politicians, board members, staff, construction workers, construction management, and potential bidders for the privatization?
That's already been done. Everybody's got pictures and stuff of everything that's gone on. I mean, it's too late. I mean, I know about places where they have this here, no rule for water treatment plants, but I've never heard of one for the sewage treatment plant. But everything that they did take pictures of, it's just visible with the eye. You didn't take them into any sanctuary place that we've got going when you did the tour, did you?
No, we didn't. I mean, there's not you don't have call it restricted area.
Right.
It's nothing designated restricted to the.
I mean, if somebody was going to sabotage the water, you'd think they wouldn't go in the sewer treatment plant. They'd just go out there and just throw it in the water, right? Flush it in the toilet.
We opened those control cabinets for them. We didn't give up any vendor secrets.
No. Well, like I said, I for one didn't know it, and I don't think anybody else here knew anything about it. Especially since all bidders came and took pictures of everything. What are we to assume?
It was the owner charge you, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right. No, thank you for that. Well, does the board have an opinion on that, or whether we should not
We
allow?
did ask that they not photograph anybody's face, the construction worker, without permission, and take no flash pictures. Because I made that mistake, and some people diving for cover or wiring. So give it a warning before you flash a picture.
Worried about our flash.
Yeah, apparently they're sensitive.
I mean, anybody, Ed, what do you think? Now, I'll ask legal counsel. What do you think now on this picture taking?
Well, I don't know what the requirements are. I mean, in terms of, I don't know the whys. We have to look into it, but it seems to me that if people are taking photographs in the course of construction and construction's outside the control of the board really shouldn't have any involvement in enforcing that. I mean, if it has to do with plant operations and photographs are being taken in the course of plant operations, certainly. But otherwise, let the others enforce the requirements, whether it's the project manager or the contractors or the owners. Shouldn't really get involved in it.
The state finding, from what I saw, was in cybersecurity, and the water treatment superintendent had showed their security camera, the images that were taken, then he took them over and showed him the desktop with the SCADA system, page through screens. So there was a danger. He had basically show them everything but the password to navigate their SCADA system.
I would think that construction plans would be more sensitive than actual photographs. And those are public records, to my knowledge.
Every council person would have had the original blueprint or the diagrams of the proposed project.
Yes, I am. Hey Chuck, number 2, man. Could you give us some advice and help us on that?
I would say you should not let any videos or cameras in this building. You have to go into an OSC audit.
Okay.
Okay? I think you're gonna get direction from both owners requesting you guys to pass legislation that says that. I also think the construction guys, like Al was just saying, is proper. They need to take pictures, but they should have in their contract that they can't disclose that stuff. That it's for them to keep, if there's a lawsuit of how they're doing things.
Okay.
Okay? People here, if you didn't read the article in the paper back in December last year, or the OFC audit that you can find online, you'll see that there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of security issues right here today.
Okay.
Okay, can a truck drive through here? Yes. You got a guy stopping him. Is that guy going to stop him? No, we had to do $300,000 worth of security things at that plant. You have the same issues here. I think everyone should get on the website and read what OSC says.
Which website is that?
New York State Office of State Comptroller audits. We were one of the first security audits they did in New York State. It's their new issue. If you wanted to come here and go through it,
No, I understand.
I welcome.
That was the 2012 incident?
No, this was 2018 they did it.
That was your report?
Well, they did it last September. They wrote it out after the election of last year. I think it was in November, December time period. Mr. Platsky could probably give us the date.
It's November. It's November, yeah.
If you go out and Google R7-2011-06-58-59, you can get the April 2019 update from Jerry Nystrom for the DEC that has photographs of every building, every operation, methanol, the gates, the structures, the baths. It's all out there in public information on the DEC's website. There's probably 15 photographs of current production showing all of the Kruger pillows out there in the baths and all.
I guess the point is you can't undo what's been done in the past. Going forward.
And that's
They're doing this as part of their reporting. It's a quarterly report. It's as detailed as anything.
I understand. What do we do going forward?
We're required to do that as public outreach under the consent order too. So that's how Jacobs is doing.
And there's things, Charlie, if you read the article, you could find out there's some things that they are okay and there's some things that are not, okay? But you can't arbitrarily go through and make a video and take pictures and throw it out on the website, okay? Names of chemicals being used should not be out there. Names of the different equipment out there should not be available to the general public to see. But if you go through the whole list of things that they went through, it's all in there.
So when we go out and put a legal ad in the paper for chemicals, we shouldn't mention the name of the chemical we're
You are correct. There's things that should not be out
Like to
there.
order a quantity of X to be delivered within.
Charlie, we'll just end this. We'll have the state come and talk to you, okay? I'll make sure they're here this week.
I guarantee they're going to show up sooner or later.
Well, I don't know. I guess that would be, I guess what I'd like to do is just to tell you for now, no cameras allowed on anybody that we invite in, okay?
Okay.
So does that include cell phones?
Make exceptions
No
to training
picture,
rooms.
no picture policy, no picture policy, doesn't matter if it's cell phone or camera.
Right. I go along with that. Anybody have any rebuttal against that?
May I speak? You have contractors posting pictures on social media, just a heads up.
Then you can turn around
Posting where?
and argue with
Social media, we're
me
not
for that one.
How they're selling bills backwards and can't wait to get paid to do it again, and they got screenshots of all of them. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, moving on.
When you do it to Chuck, can you make sure that?
I'll send it to you and then you can send it to Chuck. Is that okay?
And the board.
Yeah, and the board.
Okay, moving on to the next item, digester 1, 2, and 3, contract 10. Supernate valves are the original valves and are not scheduled for replacement. Replacement of these valves was missed.
By the engineering team, right?
Yeah.
By the owner's engineers, okay, not by the planner.
Right.
Right, make sure you put that in, Jeff.
So if the plant is now responsible for replacing these valves, we will need to expedite replacement. Jim Ross has already gotten 3 price quotes, and lead time on those valves are 3 to 7 days, so it's fairly short. So
What size?
5 to 7?
What size pipes were you talking about?
6 inch.
Probably 6.
6 inch, the total for like 5 valves is $8,100.
They're pricey.
Well, what's pricing?
$8,100.
That's just
I
for
was
5.
gonna guess 5.
That's total, right, for 5?
That's just for 5 valves.
Is that installed?
They still.
No, we're gonna put them, we would put them in ourselves.
How much? Do you need to shut down for that?
No, we are, right now is the time to do it, because we are not online yet. We wanted to do 3, digester 3 first, because that one's gonna be going online.
Is this the sole source where we get the valve from, or?
No, he's 3 different price quotes, he's got 3 price quotes.
What line item now? I mean, okay. Who's looking?
There's a flood report ahead of the ring.
Now it's.
We gotta go to the last page.
Yeah.
So,
One more for them.
Frank, when you,
Howard does that, Howard has more information on those valves.
no, I guess what I want to ask you now, what do you plan on doing with the old ones once you put the new ones in?
Scrap them.
Really? Is there any way they can rework them?
They're from 1970. So no.
I don't know how much of a change there are in valves, but okay. I just thought, just in case one fails, you got something for a backup if they're all identical.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
they did fail leak test,
On 1 and 2, they failed.
and they're extremely tight, they're very hard to open and close.
I
They're
think you all
different,
invested more than 5.
we're gonna have to, but this is just to get
I'm just.
3,
Well,
then we still have
We
1
might
and
be
2.
able to rebuild the other valves. so
that's what I'm
And
getting
if they
at.
test out, okay.
Or turn around and soak it so that you can work it, because you said there's 2 or 3 of them, it's just a hard cranker, right? Now, are these a flat gate on this butterfly valve?
Plug valves.
Okay. Okay, so, and I think if you turn around and put it in, if it's just hard for turning, you can soak them and at least use it for an emergency or backup until you get another power.
Okay.
These are all manual valves,
Yeah.
not automated valves.
No.
And there's no automated valves available now. Makes a difference. We have one in town.
Yeah, because I think you've been classified for.
No, we have money in the budget for automated valves, not for the manual.
Okay, moving on.
Well, let's go to, I just want to see if we need a motion maybe to get this underway.
Within his authority, when he talked about, he doesn't need anything from us.
Pardon?
He doesn't need anything from us. He's got 3 quotes, he can just
I
go
can
ahead.
approve it.
You can approve it yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't know. Thank you. All right. And you got enough left in your budget? Okay.
Yeah, take it out of equipment.
Would we encourage doing 4, 1, 5,
That's just to get one going.
and just get,
And then
They
Back over more for
1 and 2.
At that point, yeah.
We do have other valves just like that are new in the plant,
Yeah.
which we could use, but we just don't know if we're gonna be able to get them out with the sequence of construction here. We're not gonna be able to take them out and use them.
No, and I understand that. But, like you said, so these valves are all for digester, 3, correct? Okay, so how many more valves do we have on 2 and 2 more?
4 more.
Just 4 more total for the other 2?
Yeah.
Well, I think if you ordered them to 5 like we suggested and try to use a couple for the backup until we're ready to order for the other one.
Yeah. Okay, next item, I will need board approval for travel allowances for 2 employees to attend SUNY Morrisville. I have 1 employee going to 2 different classes, basic operations and basic lab. Travel allowance for that individual is $750. The other employee will be attending just 1 class, basic laboratory. Travel allowance is $250.
I'm gonna make a motion to allow, according to our travel policy, for these 2 individuals to take these classes.
Second. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, carried, 501.
The motion, the minutes though should have the prior discussion, so that it's clear what the motion referred to.
With the name too.
It doesn't have to have the name, just the name of the classes.
I don't want to get into the privacy there.
Sounds back.
Next.
Okay, last item, I would like to introduce Thorn Mendes. Mendes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, I didn't call you Cynthia. So, Thorn, she's lead shift on 3rd shift, and she would like to address the board on some public relation suggestions. So I'll turn it over to Thorn.
That could have been done on the privilege of the floor. I just have a little.
He just must be. This is 180 and like. I'll give you that. Oh, no.
No.
I got her. I will. Basically, PR is something that I've been actually passionate about for years since I've been here, because when the public hears about
Could
this
you bring
place.
it up a little bit like you're mad at somebody?
Volume.
Oh, sorry. I'll stay here I've actually been passionate about this for years, because when the public hears about us, all they hear is the negative: floods, wall collapse, privatization, construction delays, rate increase. And the other thing they think is, oh, giant pipe will thing. So neither one of those create a nice image in the public. We have in the past participated in 2 earth fests back when it was at McKinley before they flooded. That was in 2009 and 2010, and the response was excellent. People asked questions, we were able to explain what goes on here. I feel that if they're only hearing when something goes wrong or if the rates are going up, it's just the attitude's gonna get worse toward here. So I'm kind of modeling this after Cleveland. Their PR is excellent. They have community programs, they have tours, they go to all the career days, they go to all the festivals local, they have mascots in the parade, they hand out literature. I also want to maybe improve our name a little, because Binghamton Joint Sewage and Wastewater Treatment Plant is a mouthful, and I would like to change it to something a little more environmentally friendly and the public can relate to, especially now that that's a big issue. I opened up a contest to plant employees to just spitball some ideas for a possible name. There's a couple in there just for some verbiage to maybe toss in there, and maybe a new logo. There's an example on there that's just a hand sketch that I did, but I figured Bingo Beaver from Binghamton, Jessica, JC. There's also a lot of it is just one-time costs to show up for events. We already have an 8-foot table downstairs, a tablecloth, like a trade show tablecloth, I found one for $20. That's a one-time cost. A banner versus a table runner with our logo on it. I think one is $70, the other one's $50, but you wouldn't need both, with that one or the other. As far as manning the booth or going to these events, it wouldn't create any overtime. It would work like a contact hour class. Whoever mans the booth or goes to this event would just count as their work day. So it wouldn't create any extra costs there. Literature would be the other cost. Getting brochures together to entice high schoolers, college kids that don't understand what goes on here. It's science, it's math, it's environment, it's not what is in your toilet. It's only 0.1%, 0.01% waste and 99% water. So I just feel if the public was more educated to what is going on here and why we need to increase their rates, why we need to make changes, then the response would be a lot more positive. Like I said, Cleveland does tours, open houses, they go to the parades, they have posters in all the stadiums for their local teams with their logo on it, with like little kitschy sayings on it, what not to flush down the toilet, or some of them are funny, like dropping your phone in the toilet. I don't remember exactly what they were, but and there's a lot of grandiose, broad ideas. But just to get a jumping off point, and they're still considering the budget, I think a lot of this can be done. Like I said, fairly cheaply. I can get more exact costs on the brochures.
And along them notes, we are joint members with the Water Environment Federation, and we can get discounts with all the literature.
I actually have a lot still in my locker from the fest left over. And I had a jar of our media, what our influent looked like, our effluent, and then in that picture on there, that trifold, I drew out the whole path of where the liquid goes, where the solid goes, and a lot of people really responded well to that, and I really didn't encounter any negative feedback or, oh, you're just place this things. So I think that this is a great opportunity to be a better state, because we're such an essential service in the community. And also show the employees here do care, and they're still positive, and they want to enact positive changes.
It's not all doom and gloom.
Like I said, these are just like suggestions, like this is just a hand-drawn sketch. The names are just whatever. Like I said, I'm gonna print it out to the other employees and see what they think. Give them feedback.
Yeah, why should I pay for our mascot when I can go out there and fish and pull out of the river and stuff?
They can't walk down Main Street very well.
No, I just, this is something that I think we discussed after we get the results on the privatization thing. We'll go from there.
We may want to discuss, budget line for positive.
So, yeah,
Public relations.
yeah, turning around for manpower and that stuff and showing them what type of a future, and it could be a good future here.
And there are people here with skills that are willing to put in the time. We wouldn't have to, I'm sure like other plants hire a firm to come in, but the people here actually want to be there.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think this is a great idea. I'm very impressed.
If you have any questions or if you, I said I can get more detailed information. I wish I had more time to prepare for this, but.
It's very good. It's something for us to think of preparing a budget that we can throw something into it. But right now, let's just see what the future brings.
Just on the plant and seed and, like you said, sign out in the blue.
Thorn, would you be able to make this like job fairs?
Yes, for job fairs and for both public education and for career fairs.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thorn.
Oh, you got it right this time. What's the right?
I'll get it right.
It's on this report.
Have you got anything else?
I'm all set.
No, you're not. You got one other? Bob Joseph?
Oh, yes. How could I forget?
Yeah.
There's, Bob Joseph, did reach out and would like to take a tour of the facility. And he would like, I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention to see what they think.
What date did he pick out?
He wanted to come Thursday at 1 o'clock.
This Thursday?
Yes.
And of course, you was calling no cameras.
Right.
Who would conduct this?
Well, I asked Greg that. I asked him, and I told him to leave it up to whoever, to lead him through. This is sort of our thing, and I think there was quite a discussion the last few days on the radio. Yes. I know. I'd like to be. No, everything's sort of twisted and sort of confused a little bit. And, I thought that I could notify him and any board member that wants to be there, but I said I won't do it without board approval first. Find out whether they think it'd be a good idea or not.
What's he gonna do here?
He just wants to visit.
He's never been here.
He says he's never been here. He drives by it and sees a lot of concrete and that stuff, but in all the years he's never been here, and he thought he'd like to be here.
Is this a media guy?
Yes. Yeah, the radio.
Top radio.
WNBF. Sure.
I'm gonna try, gonna promise, I don't know, but like I said, I won't do it without board approval. And I told Craig, just get an input on it. Does anybody have any reason why not?
How could it hurt?
I agree.
Good question.
Is there,
how could we come out of this?
It could be a good thing.
well, because he turns around and last week when I was listening to it, it was the board's fault. And I guess.
I think they confuse you and city council when they say the word a lot. A lot of people don't realize the difference between all the different management.
Correct. And I think with a few board members here, or whatever, along with management here, that we could sort of set the facts straight. And he can find out how complicated it was. I mean, Jeff, you're invited too if you want to.
I have a previous commitment.
I won't invite the TV cameras because what good is he without the camera?
Artist rendering. Thanks for the invitation, George.
So,
Yeah, I'm not sure the board should just do that without coordinating with the construction manager. You know, because that whole part of the site is under the construction control, not the board.
Okay, so you turn around and advise them, and they can tell us what's off limits that we can't go to. How long would that take?
It kind of really,
I mean,
it would, shouldn't all tours go through Jacobs?
Did officers go through Jacobs on the last, the thing that you had? Here, the last walkthrough? Who guided the last walkthrough?
Plant staff.
Yeah,
And plant staff also guided through all the prospective bidders for privatization.
correct. I mean, I would just give them notification, and if they've got some place that we can't go because they're performing some type of an operation, I understand. I'm sure that's what you did the other times.
We've been able to take them in all the areas.
Right.
And to get a good idea of what's going on here, you leave a piece out, it's.
Does it make sense to have a construction management representative with us?
It might.
That way you can get both sides of the story. It might tone down some of the animosity.
The only thing that I know from listening to that radio, that most people do not want to go to privatization. Okay? Matter of fact, I haven't heard one person that called in was going for it because they just feel we're being left in a trap.
I have no idea who this guy is or what he talks about. But to be fair, you know, if an issue comes up that maybe we don't know a timeline, and the construction manager does, they would be able to.
That was funnier than anything I ever said. Okay, I just want to tell you that logic.
However, people can typically see with their own eyes a timeline.
Right, but I just believe that he could help us be the voice and sort of straighten out what rumors float out into the airwaves. Let's put it that way. I don't know. I mean, if you want part of
People
construction,
see with their own eyes.
I mean, you can
It does look like an eyeball.
you can turn around with that said. You want to turn around and get Jacobs there to say that you plan on having a walkthrough. You want somebody there representing, you know.
Our tour would be more based on operations and how this plant actually works.
Okay.
It wouldn't be so much to do with the construction.
Then let's leave Jacobs out of this, okay.
Any restricted area is clearly delineated with red tape.
Would you speak up a little bit?
Any area that's deemed not safe for pedestrians is marked off with red tape, so
Okay, all right.
we should be safe.
If you wanted to get into the construction end of it, I don't see why Jacobs wouldn't take them through.
Well, yeah, look, if you want
I'd
to
rather-
turn around and get into that, leave that up to
To
Jacobs.
give him a good idea
Right.
about the operations of the facility.
We're trying to do a relationship now, so, okay, I agree with you. Ed's still thinking.
I mean, I don't think anything positive can come out of that particular individual, but,
Can I ask,
you know, you
can I
can't
ask
get any
you
worse here.
one question? If I say, if we turn around and say no and deny it, what do you think that's gonna do? That's all I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, that's good. So, okay,
You know, that's why I think it should be a joint effort, because the whole perspectives there. He's gonna ask questions, I guarantee you, he'll ask questions that are just outside your scope.
well, I'll be there to help.
If they're outside your scope, too.
Then we'll really get him confused, but if he wants to know anything about the construction, but as far as how the plant's gonna operate, this and that, I'm sure both of yous are, whichever.
I'm sure, I don't know his knowledge of wastewater,
He has no knowledge of it outside
but I
of
think
it.
when he leaves here, he'll have a whole different perspective.
Just don't pay as you go. So that's their motto.
We'll keep it positive. Construction related issues.
Okay. Very good.
Won't be part of the tour.
I guess that's it. I got no comment for the rest of the board, so let's go with it. So are you all through now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Chuck, I know you're here. Is there anything that you want to say, or?
No.
Okay. Okay, construction, George and Steve, I think I've said everything that I wanted to say today. If you got anything?
I just want to know, Howard, when's the next construction meeting?
For which contract?
I don't care.
Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, will be a contract 10 solid meeting possibly. It's infrequent now that the contractor's on site.
All right, what else you got? Anything?
There's an owners meeting tomorrow at 11.
They don't happen on Wednesdays anymore?
Well, no,
11 a.m. tomorrow.
I know you get no, but it's not as good.
Yeah. 11 a.m. I'm gonna ask for, the reason I'm gonna ask for a tour from Jacobs. If any of the board members want, let me know when you're available. Next week, probably. Anybody interested?
Yeah, get a hold of me, and if I'm,
Yeah, remind them an hour ahead of time.
Yeah, you interested who's not?
I'm interested, but it depends on how long Monday takes, you know, if the meeting in the morning, you know, I mean, they're usually limited amount of time I can get out.
Alright.
Yeah.
Where are you?
I'm not sure.
I'm waiting to do that.
Alright.
Plan on being at this Thursday.
Yeah, I'm planning to come Thursday.
I think we'll be able to see.
But I want to ask construction questions.
Yeah, well, no, I understand that, but, okay. Maybe I'll make that too, but.
It might even help when you get the engineers.
Which one?
The designer.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sure for a fee, you would.
Well, so does Jacobs.
Anything else, Steve? Okay. Ed, you want to do finance and flow management?
Okay. First, I make a motion that the board ratifies the budget 2020 preparation schedule as distributed.
Second. Discussion, seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried 501.
Thank you. I mentioned the final billing previously. One thing that Charlie didn't mention was that there was a bill for the media, the $500,000, and to take the reserve and to move it over and modify our budget. It didn't get it sent out to us, so we don't have a particularly written out motion on what we need to do, but we need to modify the budget. Right. But there needs to be a board motion to do that. We made the motion to create it. So. I don't have the wording to put this chart into words for a motion.
Account numbers or?
No, I mean, here's the account numbers, if somebody can give us the motion, so. Email to you, so you had it.
I'm not at the board, I don't think.
No, I said I sent it. You're here to help us, I think, but, we're not getting your help here.
It's money I can't see that I assume is out there in an account I'm not familiar with, that I don't have the power to transfer. So I'll help you as much as I can, but it has to be, I believe, Chuck Shager at the board's direction.
So can we talk to Chuck?
It's in a conversation.
Right. He's walking this way.
So, we don't have any wording for a motion, so, we don't know exactly what needs to be done in regard to this. It's just numbers and budget lines, and it doesn't tell us what the motion needs to say. Jacobs? I tell you, we're going to postpone that.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's just frustrating that we sent this to them on last Wednesday, okay? And here it is a week later, and the question comes now. Okay, I gotta pay bills. What did this plant do for last week in trying to resolve this important issue?
There's an invoice from Kruger for $500,000. That's the lead agency's project.
Yes, and Charlie, what I came to Ed and sent to you was, here's what we need to do to transfer money, okay? And it wasn't done. That's the bottom line here. We'll just push it off, and we'll push the project out another month to your next meeting.
I don't know what the account, well, okay, there's a list.
Charlie, it's a week ago that you were given this information.
If you're looking at your own worksheet, you can't say what two accounts to use. How would I know?
You could have picked up the phone call and made a call to Chuck. Okay? Very simple.
Yeah, it's something like that. I gotta go along, when you run into something like that that's of importance, just get on the phone. Don't wait till the next meeting and that stuff, because that's what I get frustrated over. Some things you just gotta get on the phone and use your common sense, and I know you got good common sense. I don't need to see Chuck any more pissed off than he is right now.
What can we do about it now?
Well, without somebody telling us what verbiage they need. Because this needs to get into a request for legislation to the owners also.
Not gonna happen.
And
I'll tell the body why it didn't happen.
Well, could you help us with some?
No, I don't have time right now, George.
Thank you.
I got Jacobs waiting for me.
I'm sure that's good news.
all right, I don't have anything else on finance, and there's nothing new on flow management.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate that. Ad hoc committee. Okay. Steve? on personnel?
We are gonna meet with the union next Monday.
Monday at 9.
Yes, downtown.
All right. Correspondence, as you can see in there, you got a beautiful picture of the newspaper. With the May HIPS report, summary of contract project costs. Is there anything on old business? Seeing nothing. Anything on new business?
I'm not sure if this is, and I apologize, I did not get this in the board meeting minutes. I have some training that I'd like to do on the CMMS program. I'm not sure if this is the appropriate place to bring that up, and I don't have anything for the board. But for 3 days of training here on site, I'm quoted at $5,250. And there would be travel reimbursement as well on top of that. And that's for the computerized maintenance program that we bought. We had some training 3 years ago. It was very helpful. And we're just starting now to load this software with the equipment as it's coming online. And so I reached out to E-Maintenance with some topics that we'd like to go over, and they're very flexible. But if I get the purchase order back to them quickly, we can get scheduled in for hopefully by the end of July.
How many people?
I told them that I would have 15 to 20 participants.
And how long is it for?
It will be for 3 days.
So you're gonna tie up 20 people for 3 days?
No, they're gonna be like that. They'll be scattered throughout.
Yeah, there will be things that aren't applicable to others that are to some of the staff. And I overestimated too.
Anything on the second or third shift where you gotta bring them in and pay overtime or whatever?
There could be some.
I don't wanna hear the could be, I wanna know whether there would be.
Unless I can schedule them for 6 a.m., then there won't be much overlap. But I assume there will be some overtime if you want to get everyone the best training possible.
Do they have a right of refusal on it? In other words, they say they don't want to go to it or whatever? Are we sure of the count of 20 people? I mean, that's why I don't understand why you don't have a firm number.
I just started this process a couple days ago.
Okay.
And so maybe I'm jumping the gun, but the reason I bring it up now is because a purchase order now gets me the training by July.
Okay.
Or in July. That's the only reason.
There's no forced overtime, but if we can schedule it on our shift, then they can attend.
That's fine.
What do you need to bring them in? What was the number again?
It's $5,250 for 3 days.
Is this one person, 2 people?
Or this will be one person,
Plus travel expense.
plus travel and expense. For where?
These systems.
They're based out of Bonita Springs, Florida.
They have $1,000.
Well, they were recently purchased by Fluke. It was based out of Philadelphia, so I'm not exactly sure where they're going to be coming out. So if you have questions that I can get back to them to get answers to you.
I think you've got it.
So the travel, point A.
No, we didn't have it.
That would be the key thing.
We don't believe it changes with the attendance to the training. Whether I have 5 people or whether I have 20 people in there. I'm just paying for one person, one trainer's service.
What line would you take this I just asking how.
I would take the travel and training when you get that number later from travel and training, but there was another line with like 92,000 in it.
Okay. All right, well, just get all the information that we've got to call it, especially when the telephone polling on it.
And again, I apologize for the short notice, but it's just something that I started recently.
Is something you want to, motion on up to a certain number, or you want to wait?
I'd like to wait until I find out what the travel is. That's the scary part for me. Travel, room and board for 3 days.
Yes.
I mean, if those,
It's probably gonna be.
GSA per diem, that helps too. There should be some kind of proposal, you know, that says this is our cost, which they've given him the $5,250 for the trainer's time, but they should have a proposal on the travel and expenses.
Yes.
I probably have a number from the last time we had the training on what our travel reimbursement was. So I'll look and see if I have the old travel reimbursement for it.
We were already trained once, but you gotta get trained again.
No, I mean, the vendor should make the proposal, that's what we're gonna pay, right? Right. So I mean, that's what you're doing.
Okay. Okay, I'll have those numbers.
Anybody have to go in the executive session for anything? Seeing no, our next regular monthly meeting will be July the 11th. And happy July the 4th to everybody. Need a motion to
adjourn.
Discussion, seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, carried 5-0.